Welcome to Rise of Prussia. We are going to be playing the 7 Years' War here. Quite an incredible conflict, and we're going to be playing, as you guessed it, Prussia herself. Now, the first part of this actual war, the invasion of Saxony, is going to be really our first order of business. And currently, Saxony is really in this area right here of Pirna, Dobeln, Mitzelda. But this is actually, of course, currently under control of the Austrians. So we're trying to make a name for Prussia, the first actual part of the 7 Years' War. Let's get started. Let's invade the Saxons, and let's see if we can't come out with a tremendous victory. Now, I want King Friedrich von Prussia to actually be leading one of these armies, but I don't want to overstaff his army, so I want to make sure that doesn't occur. Let me actually merge these two guys together. And let's see, we might be able to actually merge all three, but I like having these three separate armies to sort of do our bidding. They're all fairly large here. Required command is 22, provided command is 39. See, this is kind of an issue. You know what? We'll merge these two. What can I say? So now that's a 33% penalty. See, this is the problem. We are going to have to, unfortunately, remove some of these guys. We can actually send some over here to the army of the king. He doesn't seem to have quite enough forces in his army, so that can drop the penalty just a little bit. And we're going to use these two armies specifically to march into Saxony. But what we have to keep in mind that's quite important here is we don't want to send all of our forces to Saxony. We have to attack on other parts of the Austrian front. I think it's the only way to actually beat such a massive foe. So first things first, I'm going to take Prince Wilhelm von Prussen's army and move right into Pirna, and we're going to be going in on an assault posture. I'm not getting any supply depots quite yet. I'm going to do the same with this guy, but I'm actually going to be arriving a bit late just in case the first attack doesn't bear fruit. Now, along the actual line, we can do a number of different things, although over here, where we actually have our allies, a number of our allies, I believe it's Hessen, if I'm not mistaken. No, Liebstadt, but this is, yes, Hessen, I was right. They're currently locked, so eventually we will be able to use the armies of Hessen also to push on the Austrian border over here, but for now we really need to focus on this area. Now, we've also got Major General Johann von Wedel. He's absolutely excellent, but I was kind of thinking that he would assist in taking Pirna. What I will at least do is take Radeburg. This is the road on the way to Pirna, and from here I'm actually going to head into this forest area, not the greatest area I know, and move here. Now, eventually, what I will do is actually build a supply depot with that unit, but for now, we're going to keep him here. Now, this guy also has a 35% penalty, so I'm going to go ahead and try and create a separate army here, a separate corps, really. Already, they have a 20% penalty. They're going to need a general, so we might want to bring down the cavalry brigade, although we still don't have a proper general for this unit. For now, however, I just want to remove that penalty. So get that down to like a 35%, something like that. Excuse me, a 15%, something like that. Yeah, we're just going to have to perhaps even wait a bit. Still a 35% penalty. We're absolutely going to need, I think, maybe even an additional general just to lead these forces. What we might do right now is head in here either way. To Condegratz and decide sort of what to do there. Let's just see what else we can do here to separate this force. We cannot currently upgrade this fellow. So let's take the battery. We'll take that out. That's still a 35% penalty. Try to take out a few more of the units, and that's now bringing it down to a 30% penalty. But it doesn't seem like this would be enough soldiers to really put up much of a fight. 10% we'll have to do. And we'll head to Condegratz. And despite that 35%, I'm going to bring these guys along too. We'll start splitting them up once we get there. See if there's anywhere else across the front where we could potentially do some damage. I think we have to wait until the actual war gets started. And that's going to be happening very, very soon. Let's just take it. Okay, you know what? I have a new idea. We need to take von Zieten's Hussars, get him over here. It's going to take him 13 days, which is actually pretty quick. And I'm going to leave this force right here. So Foch's force shall stay there. We'll actually go ahead and merge the Grenadiers with them. And hopefully that general will be sufficient to actually lead these men. We've also got Major General von Katt. So we're going to bring in down Major General von Katt as well. We're essentially moving the Schwerin Corps forward just to sort of test the enemy's reaction here. All right, folks, here we go. Let's end the turn. Let me just make sure that I've moved all of my units, and I have the map set so that we're able to see, who controls each part of the map, including, of course, our allies and our enemies to the south. And I think for now, we are ready to go. All right, guys, the beginning of the 7 Years' War. Let's see what happens. Do we top, or are we going to have a shameful defeat? Only time will tell. Wow, incredibly no shots fired whatsoever, guys. And we're still trying to take Pirna here. But incredibly, that Austrian unit did not take the bait. He actually moved back. That being said, I'm almost thinking we're going to take King Friedrich von Posen's force and attack. We could actually even send one of these units into his force to increase some of the actual units within them. Or we could take this unit and attack. Prince Wilhelm von Prussia. Let's attack with Prince Wilhelm. I'm going to go on the offensive here. We'll leave, of course, King Friedrich behind. And I'm going to take Major General Johann von Wedel. This would actually maybe be a good time to set up an encampment of some sort, but I don't think we can actually set up a camp here. I'm crossing the river at my own risk, because if this enemy attacks us while we're crossing the river, it's going to be a pretty significant amount of damage. All right, let's see. So now we've got these additional guys here. The Major General, still going to be a 35% penalty. We're going to have to break down this force little by little. So let's take out that 2-star general there. We're slowly going to build his force up. All right, Major General, not bad. Send in Winfried's men. We're still fine on command, and if we need to, we can also send over some more officers. And Hans von Zieten is, I think, the only one that I kind of want to separate here to potentially make his own force. So that's 4 of 4. 20 of 32, not bad. Wow, we can actually beef up this army quite a lot of Major General Friedrich Leopold Gessler. So we're just going to go ahead and keep sending units in here until we reach that limit of 32. I think that's enough for now. We're 30 of 32, not too bad. And I'm going to send them also to Condogratz. 9 days to get there, and we're going to be very, very effective once we get there. Very aggressive as well. Although maybe it's actually best for us to go to Troppau, just to make sure the enemy doesn't attack our south. But I think we really do need more units to take Condogratz, so I'm going for it, guys. Wish me luck. This is going to be a hell of a move. Let's see if we've unlocked any of our forces here, any of our Saxon forces. Doesn't look like it. Excuse me, not our Saxon forces. Our Hanoverian forces. We do have somebody here, Junken in Magdeburg, but I'm just going to bring him down to Torgau. And maybe in time we'll go ahead and, build a sort of new army. I don't think we have any military options at this point. We could get a new Prussian general. What I'm going to do is actually just some Prussian regular soldiers training for now. We don't have cash for elite training, and we barely have enough for regular training. But not a single battle has begun in the 7 Days War, or 7 Years War yet. Hopefully it's not a 7 Days War. Let's see if we can get that started in the next turn. Fingers crossed, my friends. For Prussia. Alright, guys, the first Battle of Pirna. This is the area we need to take from the actual Austrians. Saxony. It's extremely important to take this area. This is going to be a hell of a long battle. My goodness. Probably our longest battle in the Aegean series so far. Alright guys, so the Battle of Pirna camp, it is a Prussian victory and a glorious one at that. I mean, look at this guys. We lost 2,658 men. They lost close to 20,000 men. And they also lost one of their generals over here, Graf von Arnim, was killed in the fighting. This will show the Austrians not to mess with us in the future, and certainly will hopefully place our claim over Saxony in this war for sure. As you can see here, the number of prisoners is pretty incredible. 722 companies, 1 equals 100 men. This is just insane. Really just incredible, incredible victory. We can actually take a look at the different units in this fight. Just a number of different nobles on the Austrian side, led, of course, by Major General Friedrich Rotowski. And they even got some reinforcements throughout the rounds. But we were able to continue the fight, and our men fought extremely bravely. Couldn't ask for a better fight, guys. Great first battle there, the Battle of Pirna. Now, hopefully they retreat to Depoldeshwald, this area right here, and we catch them at the Elbe. But maybe they actually manage to fight through. We'll have to see. They're still in the actual fortified city. And another Prussian victory. Not as many casualties, but still taking a ton of companies prisoner, 354. We're just destroying this Austrian army completely. Of course, now we still need to besiege the town. It's not ours until it's ours. Let's put it that way. Turn. Pretty good. We actually still have the Austrian general here. Of course, we are now sieging the actual city itself. And I have to be honest with you, I'm actually afraid to leave the city now with either of these units. We also don't want to leave because if this unit tries to get to Dresden, he could. That's why we have this guy on the offensive posture. He will attack on sight if he sees the enemy. Just to give you guys like a visual representation, we'll put him right there. As for this guy, General Johann von Wedel, I kind of wanted him to go here and try and take this fortified camp. But since his men have been marching without supplies, etc. for quite a while, it might be in our best interest to try and build a depot here and just kind of wait a bit. But I'm not one for waiting, so we're going to charge. Then we'll build the depot afterwards. And let's take a look and see how our armies are doing over here at Condegratz. Not bad. So our guys are just outside right now. We could order them to siege. And I think that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to try... Nope, they're not going to follow that order. They will. And hopefully these guys will actually come in as support to the other army if they need to. We can actually synchronize movement, but I'm not sure synchronizing movement works on attacks. So I'm not 100% on. See if we have any reinforcements or if our allies are prepared to fight. Not quite yet. They need a little bit more time to rally their populace. But I think we can get to the next turn. And hopefully by the end of the next turn, the city is ours. I think it's about time to show these Austrians we mean business. Let's hope we finally breach these Pirna walls, because I'm sick of fighting here. All right, beautiful, another Prussian victory. Now, the incredible thing is he still got 47,000 men. Despite our overwhelming victories here, the Austrians do outnumber us quite a bit. So he could absolutely still defend that city. Don't forget, we're also besieging, which makes things pretty difficult. Although the fact that we're entrenched outside of the city here actually was quite effective. And hopefully we can use that to our advantage in the future. They know they're stuck in that city, they can't get out, but we also are having some difficulty getting in here. Okay, I should have known he did actually retreat to Diepolswald, but I went there unprepared. Big time unprepared. So I did expect this retreat. I just didn't expect the retreat so soon. And wow, incredible. It actually was a Prussian victory. It shouldn't have been, but we somehow managed to outsmart the enemy here. Really surprising. I don't think that will continue. I think moving the general to Diepolswald was maybe a mistake. We should have stayed put, and we should have created that supply depot. And there you go, guys. We were delivered our first defeat with Kurt von Schwerin. Not only did the enemy outnumber us, we really just did not manage to take the fortified position whatsoever. I think we're going to have to come back with some better generals. We've got some excellent generals taking over Saxony right now, but over here in the east, I feel a little less confident. So let's see if our second army station there will respond to this. They did not arrive as reinforcements. Oh, yes, they did. Pardon me. Excuse me, they did arrive as reinforcements during this battle, but they were not able to change the outcome. That's our first defeat in the 7 Years' War. So that was a Prussian defeat. We actually did get the message that some of our units were holding despite overwhelming attacks, and much respect to our men for doing that. A lot of dragoons and cuirassiers in this particular army. Definitely more of a cavalry army than an infantry army. But that's too bad. I was hoping we'd do well there. Over here. It definitely looks like the Austrians are trying to hold on to Bohemia more. Although, I don't know if I necessarily want to retreat with Major General Friedrich Leopold Geisler. I'm thinking we just keep him here. We could even try to build a depot, although I think we need to be in neutral territory. Or we could try to simply retreat back to Neisse. I think that's what I'm going to do, and sort of rebuild our forces. At this point, what we have to do, of course, with King Friedrich, is just go ahead and take the city of Pirna. Now, I'm pretty sure that the enemy general has passed through here, because he did quite a number here to Major General von Wedel, or tried to anyway, but he may have retreated back into Pirna and gone into the city. I'm actually not 100% certain on that. Nonetheless, we'll take a look here at the actual casualties so far. I believe we could take a look at the casualties. I was kind of hoping we could. And accumulated victory points, total combat losses, 15,586 for us, 34,264 for the enemy. Now, if we were to continue this series, of course, we have a lot longer to go to get through the entire 7 Years' War. But if you enjoyed this sort of game and you want to see more, make sure to let me know by hitting that like button, dropping a comment down below, and subscribing if you're new to our channel. Even better, if you join, become a member and join our channel for just $5 a month, I can promise you an age-out series on the 7 Years' War. So this is part 1. Thank you so much for watching. I think it was a pretty good start, but we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to first take Saxony, and that's only the first part of the 7 Years' War. Then ultimately the British will join us. We're going to be facing off against the Austrians and their allies. It's going to be pretty crazy. Of course, the Bavarians have already joined with the Austrians, but hopefully we can break right through, take all this territory, and get a victory for glorious Prussia. See you in the next one, folks. I hope.